Hello students, welcome to a lecture of kinematics and theory of machine. We are going to start gear. Gear is a very important chapter not only for this semester. It is very important as a mechanical engineer, and it is gear related topic will come in various subjects throughout the engineering. Even in a final year designing subjects there will be gears. So let's start with a classification of gear. Okay, so before going to start the classification of gear, first of all understand what advantage and disadvantage of gear drive, which means why we are using this drive and what is the limitation of this gear drive. So first of all check this, it transmit the exact velocity ratio. Exact velocity ratio means there is no chances of slip. There are other drives like a rope drive, belt drive, but there is a possibility of slip, and velocity ratio you can't maintain at a constant in rope drive and belt drive, but in gear train exact means constant velocity ratio. Okay, transmit the large power. It has higher efficiency because there is no possibility of slip. Okay, so that's why it has a high efficiency. Reliable service. Okay, and compact layout. Reliable service. Why reliable? In belt and chain there is a possibility of failure at sudden, but these gears are manufacturing from the alloy and very good quality steel, so there is a possibility of failure is less, and life is much longer than a belt and rope. Okay, but there are some disadvantages. Check this out. Manufacturing of a gear required special tools. It is costly. Okay, and very skilled labor is required for manufacturing the gears. The error in cutting. If there is a minor error in gear manufacturing, the vibration and noise is generated, and that makes working environment very difficult. Okay, so and other number 3 is not written here, but number 3 is gear drive only can be used for the short distance. If there is a two shaft and a very large distance between the center of these two shaft, then you can't use lots of gear. Okay, so this is our advantages and disadvantages of gear. So start the classification of gear. First of all, as per like in a kinematic pair, you have the 3 criteria, and there 3 criteria wise we have classified the kinematic pair. So same as in gear, first criteria for the classification of all gear is according to position of the axis of the shaft. So first of all is a parallel shaft. Second is a intersecting, means if two shafts are intersecting. Okay, and third is a non-intersecting and non-parallel. So these 3 criteria, based on that we classify the gears. Okay, so first of all check the parallel shaft. In parallel shaft there is a 2 subtypes, spur gear and helical gear. Okay, check this. Okay, you can see the animation of the spur gear. Always remember that in spur gear teeth are always parallel to shaft. Okay, like this you can see, this is our, if the shaft will be here, the teeth are parallel to shaft. But second type, we have the second type, helical. Okay, in helical there are 2 types, single helical and double helical. Check this out, helical gear. You can see that in helical gear teeth are making some angle to the axis of the shaft. If the shaft axis is this, your teeth will make some angle with the shaft. So that's it. So it is called single helical. Okay, and there is also double helical. In double helical there are 2 helical teeth on a gear. So why these helical gear are we use? First of all, Advantages of helical gear: there is a less noise, okay, less impact, it can transmit the higher load, but there is a minor disadvantage. You can understand by this figure. Check this out. If gear is this and there is a teeth at some angle, okay, and if gear is rotating, so the force will be transmitted, means directly transmitted in this direction, and you know that two component will become from this. First is a first in first is in this direction, second is in this direction, okay. So this will rotate the second gear, but this component of force is very harmful and it gives a thrust to the gear, axial thrust, which is not required in our system, okay. So that will eliminated by this gear. In double helical, you can see double helical V type teeth are on gear, so the axial thrust is eliminated, okay. Check this. Second criteria for the classification is the intersecting shaft. In intersecting means two shaft will be intersect at some angle, means if there is a one shaft is there and second shaft will intersect, maybe it not intersect physically, but you can see the axis will intersect each other, okay. So first is a straight bevel and second is a helical bevel. So you can see, so you can in animation you can see the axis of this shaft is here and second axis of the shaft is here, so they will intersect in this case. But straight bevel, why there is a name is a straight bevel? Because the teeth are parallel, means there is no angle, perfectly straight, okay. So it is a straight bevel gear. But in second, so you can see helical bevel. In helical you can see that some angle between the axis, okay, same as we have seen the helical gear, there is some angle on the teeth, that's why it's called bevel gear. And bevel gear always used for transmit the power and torque between the two shaft at any angle, okay. But if the teeth are straight, then it is called the straight bevel, and if it is at angle, some angle, then it is called helical bevel, okay. We are going to next criteria. So next criteria is non-intersecting and non-parallel, means two shaft will be they are not intersecting or even they are not parallel, okay. So first name is a screw bevel gearing and second is a worm gear. So this is a screw bevel gearing. Check this animation and try to understand how this work. So it is the same as the last we have seen in a bevel, helical bevel, but its teeth are at more angle. The angle with the shaft is very high, so sometimes it's you can see some name as spiral gearing also, so at some angle, okay. But you can see that shaft, so if you check this center of this gear is here, so shaft axis will be here and second gear is here, so axis will be here. So there is a non-intersecting and non-parallel, clear. Same as here, you can see the axis of this gear and axis of this gear, you can see here. So there is a not intersecting, even not parallel, so that's why it is a non-intersecting and non-parallel, okay. Second is a worm gear. Worm gear used for transmitting a very high torque, okay, and large reduction in a speed ratio. You can see axis of this shaft, you can see here, and second is a here. It is a non parallel and non intersecting. Okay, it is not intersecting because both are in different plane. You can check this shaft, this axis is here and second is in above and different plane. So that's why this worm wheel is from the phosphorus bronze and mostly bronze casting, and this uh, okay. So we are going to next. So revise this classification of gear according to axis of the shaft. So first is a parallel, and there is a two types, spur gear and helical gear. And in helical there are two other types. One is a single helical and second is a double helical. In intersecting there are two types, single straight bevel and the second is a helical bevel. In third, non-intersecting, non-parallel, there are two types, screw bevel and worm gear. Okay, so second criteria for the classification of gear is based on velocity of gear. So it is very simple: low velocity, high, medium velocity and high velocity. In low velocity, if the velocity of gear is less than 3 meters per second, then it is called low velocity. And if the speed is between 3 to 15, then it is called medium velocity. And third is a velocity higher than 15 meter per second, then it is called high velocity. Okay, so third and last criteria for the classification of gear is types of gearing. One is external gearing. All the example we have seen and mostly are from the external gearing. If two teeth are connected by external teeth, then it is called external gearing. And second is a internal gearing. Internal gearing, you also seen two gear are connected by internal teeth. Okay, and in this you can see both types are used in this system. There is a external, and you can see between this there is an internal gearing. Okay, so combination of this can be used also. And third is a rack and pinion. Rack and pinion, there is a straight track is used, and upon that pinion, which means this is used for the transmit the rotary motion into translatory or linear motion. It converts the rotary motion into a linear motion.